Hey, what's up everyone? It is I, the Video Game Hunter, and welcome to another Japanese import goods video. Which, this video will actually be my very first video of the year of 2025. Now before we get started of me showing off all the neat stuff, I'm giving you guys a quick heads up that I may sound a bit more off during the audio parts of the video, and that is because I was kinda under the weather this past week. So if I sound a bit more strange than usual, it's because of that. So that being said, let me show off the stuff that I recently picked up. The first game I'm going to show you guys is called the Famicom Detective Club Missing Heir for the Famicom Disk System. This is a detective visual novel game that was developed by Nintendo that is a two-parter game, which means it was sold separately when it originally came out back in 1988. But they didn't come out on the same day. Part 1 was released in April, while Part 2 was released in June. So the story is about this young boy detective who doesn't have a name, and that is because this is one of those games where you get to name the character. Which your character at the beginning of the game ends up getting amnesia after he injured his head falling off a cliff. Thankfully, you were found by a passerby who helped you get back on your feet, which will eventually lead you to working on a case where someone is murdering certain members of the Ayoshiro family. So that being said, I'm now letting you guys know that I did not play much of this version of the game. I mostly just bought these games just to put in my collection because I recently just got done playing the third game in its series called Muyo the Smiling Man for the Nintendo Switch. And since I enjoyed this game so much that I wanted to get the rest of the Famicom Detective Club series in my gaming collection. Now I did in fact say I did not play much of this version of the game, and that is because during my research I found out they actually did a remake of this game in its sequel, The Girl Who Stands Behind, on the Nintendo Switch. And the best part is, for the first time in its series, both games got an official English translation released in the US. However, there is a downside for us collectors, and that is, we didn't get a physical copy here. It's digital only on the Nintendo Switch's store. Physical copies were only released in Japan in a limited edition box set, which I also picked up. This collector's edition is actually pretty neat. When you lift open the lid of the box and look under it, you'll see pretty cool artworks from the past games. It also comes with a 2-disc soundtrack that contains songs from the Famicom and Super Famicom games. Obviously, a physical copy of the game, a really nice big art book, and 2 posters of the classic Famicom games. I'm actually pretty happy what I got here for something I paid for like $121.22 off of Mercari, especially when the asking price on eBay right now is going for around $162 to $230. Oh boy, did I get lucky. So here's a random game I picked up for the Sega Saturn. Princess Crown. I bought this because I thought I read somewhere that a fan translation patch for this game was finished. Well, that's not necessarily true, but you can download this team, Ed Master's most recent patch on their GitHub page. That being said, Princess Crown was a game that I felt like I played before. Just by judging the way the story is being told and how the characters were designed. Eventually, after I got done recording some gameplay footage and doing a bit of research, now I know why this game feels so familiar. The guy who led this project, George Kamitani, who is also the founder of Vanillaware, who took some of his ideas from this game and adapted to his later games like Odin Sphere, Muramasa, and Dragon Crown, which were all fantastic games that I highly recommend. So a quick explanation what this game is about. You play as this new crowned Queen Gradriel, who is not only royalty, but also a trained fighter, just like her late mother. Now, just like her late mother, she is not the type of person who wants her subjects to do all the work for her. No, when her subjects are having issues, she wants to be the one that solves the problem. Like this fairy that she befriends with, that informs her that a village close by to her home are blaming the fairies for the missing children that went missing a few days ago. With the fairy's assistance, you go out to see who's really behind the kidnapping. The game is a side-scrolling adventure RPG, but once you enter a random enemy encounter, it becomes a one-button fighter game that plays a lot like a Street Fighter game. It may take a while to get used to the controls, but you should be able to understand it pretty quickly. Next, we got ourselves another Tenchi Muyo game called Tenchi Muyo Game Hen for the Super Famicom. Now, this is a tactical RPG game, kinda like Shining Force, but the playing field is way more shrunken down like the size of an asymmetrical chessboard. For an RPG that's on the Super Famicom, it's really not like a typical RPG for this platform. It kind of feels like I'm playing it on the latest system like the PS1, and the reason why I'm saying this is because the character sprites are bigger than your usual typical 16-bit RPG characters, and they are a bit more expressive with their movements when they're interacting with each other. Which doing this might have cost the game some memory, because the game does feel a bit slow when you're fighting in the playing field. Last thing I want to mention is that whoever did the fan translation patch that I downloaded to play this game really did an awesome job. The characters' dialogue are so in character that when I'm reading it, I'm actually imagining the characters' voices from the original anime English dub.
Now let me remind you, I haven't quite forgiven you for that incident the other day.
Well, come on, what are you telling me? You're still upset about that? I'm certainly sorry that you couldn't seduce Tenchi.
You're disgusting!
So my last item I'm gonna show you guys, and it will be the only manga you'll see in this video, and that is My Girlfriend is a T-Rex. This manga is set in a world where dinosaurs have coexisted and evolved alongside with humans to prevent their complete extinction. And because of this, dinosaurs have acquired some human-like traits that enables them to integrate into human society. Now, not all dinosaurs in this world are well-behaved. Some still have the savage instincts, and because of that, some humans prefer not to be around them. But luckily, our main protagonist, Yuma, has a fascination with these dinosaur people, who at one night, while taking out the garbage, he got ambushed by a big, scary, sexy, naked T-Rex who actually kinda looks like Bowsette. Now this T-Rex is named Chuyo, and the reason why she was ambushing Yuma is because she was trying to scare him away for whatever odd reason. But instead, Yuma just found her adorable, which they end up starting a beautiful friendship. Now, if I could criticize this book real quick, there's only 2 volumes for this manga, and for something that is called My Girlfriend is a T-Rex, there's really not much of a romance, and they don't really dig too deep into these characters. However, I will say that I love how they took this T-Rex from being a silly, savage dinosaur who was pretty much homeless into a more responsible character who can now live on her own and work for a living. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully some of the stuff that I showed off got you interested of checking them out. Either it's the video games or the manga. I just want you guys to check them out, and hopefully you guys get entertained by them. So, that's it for today. This is the Video Game Hunter. Wish you guys a Happy New Year's.